Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. It's kind of, I suppose, the highlight of my last couple of weeks. I finally managed to get the Hidden Stug. I've already shown a video of the Hidden Stug's performance, but we have the Hidden Stug on Dragon Ridge. Tier 5 battle. A lot of Tier 4s as well, a couple of Tier 3s. Some artillery. Wouldn't fancy being on a Type 91. On Dragon Ridge, especially if you're spawning at the bottom, and everybody's spawning at the bottom. It's team destruction, and I miscalculated. I didn't really take into account the way a team destruction game from the current spawn points would play out on Dragon Ridge. I was aiming to set up around E3, that I get shots across the valley to people crossing that hill on the ridge line there at G7. But given the way that normally people kind of queue up there, they don't cross in there until they have an idea what's going on. But normally people are actually spawned on the ridgeline mostly, and on both sides. There's some spawn down the valley, but a lot of tanks spawn on the ridgeline. So you get a lot more activity along the 9-0 lines, and people setting up either advancing or defending on either side of those positions. With this, everybody spawning at the low ground and more or less in the same location, that's not turned out to be the case. You've had very few tanks on the ridgeline. You've basically one tank wandering around among the valleys on the eastern side, which is a completely untenable position. But tanks actually camping the A-line, which is a completely useless activity as well. Because normally, if the team's smart, they would send one or two scouts down into the valley, they'd spot the guys in the A-line, and they'd be taken apart from the ridge. And the guys in the A-line wouldn't be able to see anybody in the ridge, but the problem is, by the time I've gotten, and I still haven't arrived at my firing position, two tanks have already crossed the location that I wanted to shoot people at. They weren't held up because the heavy tank that we have at the corner, I think, has gone down into the valley. So he's not in a position to shoot people as they're coming around the corner there where the ridgeline is really narrow. Therefore, nobody got held up, they just drove forward, and that was much to the destruction of that poor tank destroyer that was down there on his own. And the guy there is not going to actually do any good because he's going to get mobbed now by a superior number of tanks. However, a Stug has wandered into view. We missed with the first shot, the second shot just fell a little bit short. I underestimated the speed at which he was reversing. Got a tracking shot and one hit, and of course that's another problem with this. I'm not really used to it yet, but obviously at long range the dispersion is quite high. And I suppose this is typical enough for Tier 5 vehicles. The dispersion can be a lot worse in some Tier 5 vehicles. I think the AT2, for instance, is a lot worse. There's tanks that are better, but generally at Tier 5, when you're over 300 onto 400 meters, you're going to miss with a lot of shots. You'll see it even in the T67, which I think performs probably better than this does in terms of accuracy. You'll also see me here in this video getting into trouble with gun arc, where people are driving across my perpendicular to the angle of my gun, and they drive out of the gun arc, and I can't follow them without moving the whole tank, and just as I'm squeezing the shot off, sort of thing. So this is a problem. The gun arc is actually fairly narrow, so it's easy enough to drive out of it, even at long enough or medium to long distances. Don't have a decent shot in that T-34. The Hetzer shouldn't have rammed him, even if he didn't have the gun depression to shoot him. He should have just driven down a bit so that he could point the gun down. That tank is running along the edge of the paddy fields, and I'm not going to get a shot at him. Nor am I going to get a shot at the tank destroyer that's following him out. But you can see what I mean. The enemy are not behaving with any great intelligence. They're just driving down the valley and across, and of course they're falling completely into the making things easy for the guys on the A-line. A-line campers on this map have to be taken out from either the central ridge, or if you have the view range or somebody spotting for you to do it, or they have to be rolled up from the east or the west, get onto the A-line, and then stick to the coverall right along the A and the B lines rather than coming across the map. That open zone on the C line on both sides, or the J and the H line, so we say G line and H line on the southern side, are completely exposed and just death traps. You're going to get caught, like these guys are, between people on the ridgeline and people on the across the way from you. So these guys are completely exposed. They're covered from the front from the people to the north of them, but they're completely exposed to me. Because again, they crossed over the eastern side of the map. They came over the middle of the valley, and they never secured the far end of the village. And they never secured the ridgeline, so they never left anybody up here to make sure there was nobody up here to interfere with them. So what was a situation that was looking rather badly for us, because our tanks were kind of isolated in separate groups, and they were actually much more concentrated and focused, turns into a complete disaster for the red team, because I suppose they just got a little too confident and they didn't secure their flanks, and they just moved forward willy-nilly without supporting each other. This guy's given up. I don't think he's tracked. He just seems to be sitting there and not doing anything. He's either disconnected or he's just given up and not even trying, but I don't get the kill. So I don't get the top gun. So it turned out to be a rather easy victory at the end. Quite a lot of our tanks survived. So 5 destroyed, 1300 damage, which is nice enough on a tier 5 tank. 15 penetrations, which is good. High caliber, first class mastery. I'll take that. Not a lot of assistance damage. It was pretty much on my own and out of range of everybody else, I think. Came number 1 by experience, but as you can see, it missed a lot of shots. Missed 9 shots out of the 25 fired. So about a third of the shots missed. Anyway, that's kind of tier 5, I suppose. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting. If you did, please give it a like and a share. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.